Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the southeast corner of the map, playing in red, we've got Whammo 1, playing as the English, and his opponent in the northwest, playing in blue. We've got Zerton, playing as the Jeanne d'Arc faction. Welcome everyone to Himeyama. That is the map for today, a new map to grace us on the Sultan's Ascend DLC. And the English are going to be facing up against Jeanne d'Arc. Now, I haven't actually seen this matchup before, so it's actually going to be kind of interesting for me for sure. It's kind of a different map as well, Himeyama. You do obviously have this little pond in the middle with three shorefish rather. Bit of a tongue twister there. Getting a dock there nice and early, wham. We're going to be getting those cheap fishing ships for the English, which would be a nice bit of a boosting for the economy. Jeanne d'Arc might be looking to be a bit more aggressive by going to the Feudal Age a little bit quicker. And then pressurize that dock. I mean, I think the dock play is actually really worth it. Even though there's only 3 shorefish, it's free food, right? And it's pretty fast as well. And I don't think that there's going to be that much delay to the English, especially when you factor in that, yeah, sure, you're paying 150 wood for the dock, which is actually pretty expensive to be fair. But each fishing ship you get is only actually 67 wood, which again is a bit of an investment, right? But it's going to be paying itself back in terms of food quite quickly. And of course, the English do start off with an extra 50 wood anyway, so that certainly helps things. Jeanne d'Arc are going to be pretty expensive in terms of the French Royal Knight coming out, and it's going to be a good one because they do pack a punch early on, just as the French do. Jeanne d'Arc has a couple of choices, life choices we should say. She's on a journey of a hero, going to be becoming either a hunter or a swordswoman. We'll see what she decides to do today. Like, it's quite typical that she does become hunter, kind of supporting getting rid of spearmen that might be on the map just to take out the French Royal Knights, but it's a tricky one, right, against the English, because the longbowman rush could be a thing. We'll have to see how this one pans out. And Jeanne d'Arc is a very strong hero unit for this faction. She can be an expert builder, building 33% faster than the other villagers, and when she does get to level 2, I believe she transfers that ability to the other villagers. You can see actually only having to build with 2 villagers, the landmark. In fact, I have seen some builds where she builds it herself, which is kind of impressive. Speaking about being impressive, 3 fishing ships already out there for Wham, and obviously he's going to be a bit later to the tech up, but that food income will be skyrocketing pretty quickly, as you can imagine, like 390 food per minute already. It's almost 100 food per minute extra, and that's going to climb, right? At least for the short term. But that school cavalry might be going quickly. And Wham can compensate by actually taking a lot more villages off to build the the council hall rather. He's going to do exactly that. It's going to take 5 villages, so it's going to catch up a little bit in terms of that timing. And of course now it's going to transition a bit more onto wood, I suspect, to get some units out in the Feudal Age. Now, whilst we will be getting to the Feudal Age very soon, I'd love to say a very big thank you for everyone supporting the channel, especially on YouTube and on Twitch. I am casting live on Twitch these days. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to maybe jump in for a live cast or two, see some magic happen, make sure you take a look and maybe drop a follow so you can see when I'm next live. I'll drop a link in the video description so you can check that out when you can. In any case, the support has been absolutely fantastic. I've been enjoying the Age of Empires 4 scene recently a lot, since the new DLC as well in particular. There's been lots to talk about, lots to discuss, lots to discover. And that continues today with the English versus Jeanne d'Arc. I'm excited for this one because we do see a lot of the English versus French matchup, but obviously Jeanne d'Arc being a sub-faction, or variant civilization they like to call it, for the French. I wonder whether this will actually play very much like the English versus French. Could be. It could be. Only investing in 3 fishing boats here at this moment, and I think that's sensible because you don't want to overcommit, and there's only 3 shorefish spots anyway, so it's a nice kind of economy just to establish, and then it's not going to be the major be-all and end-all to the match, I don't think, but it's certainly one that gives the Wham a little bit of an upper edge for that investment. Some of that Zerton will look to try and compensate with Jeanne d'Arc and her abilities as a hero. Does look like it might be almost a... I mean, it's going to be certainly a lot of Royal Knights coming out. There's quite a lot of villages on gold, 6 of them to be exact. So I suspect there'll be a lot of eco upgrades coming in. Wheelbarrow is already in. Double broadouts coming in for the English very soon. That's a lot of villages on wood, holy moly. First longbowman out, and it's look at... I mean, I think the knight probably just ignores the stock, to be honest, because... Oh, it's actually going to be taking the bait with the scout for a second. It did change the course. And that really helps Wham, delays the pressure coming in from the Royal Knight. Gonna need to add in a barracks. That is indeed the case. That happens. Gonna need to protect that wood line, of course. And not sure. Yeah, there's the first spearman queued up there for Wham. Does have one out already, and the 2-3 longbows. Let me see another following up knight soon, I suspect. There we are. I was just being baited by the scout again. Wham. It's such a smart move, right? Because this is fine. Like, it's absolutely fine to have the knights running around and the enemies. I mean, you know, it's just not harming Wham at that point, right? It's going to be heading across the map now, though, to join the fight. A lot of villages on stones. So it's going to be looking to be a second town centre play here by Jeanne d'Arc. I'll be fascinated to see how Wham responds to that. Like, whether he stays with one town centre. It could be pretty strong to do that. Because don't forget, I mean, the English, they do pack a punch with the one town centre play, right? They could always go to the castle age, get the King's Palace. Pretty much a second town centre for them. Jeanne d'Arc going for the second town centre. And don't forget, they don't get the faster producing villagers from the town centre that the French do. Going to be taking the huntable boar. So Jeanne d'Arc is very good at doing this, as you can see. She has got the hunter, the bow aspect of things, so she's chosen her path in life. And she will become a mounted, kind of like a horse archer, I guess. In the next phase, if she does level up to level 3, which is quite common. Oh, villagers being denied there. That's actually a nice pick off there by Wham to spot that out with the scout and deny the second expansion. Gonna have to pick another spot there, Zerton. Doesn't quite have the wood for it, so he's gonna have to produce. Okay, this has actually put a lot of spanners in the works, right? He's actually over. Well, he's gathered 350 stone, which you can't use at this point. Having to transition into a lot more production buildings, 2 archery ranges instead, and so he's lost a lot of wood, and it's primarily because of the aggression coming out of Wham, right? There's lots of units, and Zerton has to do this. The woodlands are pretty exposed on himeyama. There's no wood for outpost. Oh, he does actually have wood for an outpost, but he won't drop one just yet. Speaking about outposts, maybe Wham might send a village or 2 forward to get an outpost, just to extend that network of castles bonus. Might be sniping a villager, doesn't quite do it. Zerton, and that villager survives. Jeanne d'Arc has got to back away for now. She's trying to be aggressive, but the English aren't having it. Alright, interesting enough, Wham is still continuing to put a lot of pressure, right? He's constantly producing. From both the council hall and barracks, it looks like it might be a one-turn, so it's a pretty heavy feudal age push. Dare I say, an English all-in. We'll have to see. Now, Zerton could just spam outposts with the arrow slits. He does have stone for it, of course. Has consecrated the School of Cavalry. It's a bit of a bonus that Jeanne d'Arc gets, so she can actually consecrate certain buildings, reducing the food cost of those buildings. Whether it be town centres, stables, archery ranges, you name it. Of course, you probably want to do it on the buildings that obviously take a lot of food for their units, like the French Royal Knight, for instance. Maybe villages. Could be a thing. You see that each Royal Knight now is going to be costing 105 food. Double archery production. That will be matching the speed of production for the Council Hall. So Zerton should hopefully feel a bit more safe and secure in his own skin here back at home. But this is giving map control really to Wham, and not that he can leverage it too much just yet, but if that continues in the Castle Age, it could be quite strong for him. There's a lot of units. Might be looking to deny that gold vein. Villages are pulled away for Zerton, doesn't risk it. And gold could be an issue for Zerton, right? If he's stuck in the Feudal Age for a long period of time and Wham decides at some point, putting some pressure, denies this gold income for Zerton, it could be an issue. I'd love to see a village or 2 coming forward though for Wham to get an outpost. Not only just to extend the network of castles, but just to delay any further coming back onto this gold vein. He's going to go around the back this time to get that all-important gold. Alright, Jeanne d'Arc staying at home for now. Understandable. Wolves just chasing along. Now, behind this Wham is walling up. I like this play because, of course, Wham's army is a lot less mobile. And so he can't just afford to go back and forth, right? So walling up is a really nice way of just limiting the angles of attack for the opponent, making sure that Wham is a bit more in control of where aggression comes in. Speaking of which, where do those knights go? That's what I would really love to know. There they are. Walls have gone up in time already. He walled up fast there, Wham. Good thing he did. Because the knights were threatening. decent army here for Wham. Lots of archers, or longbow I should say, and spearmen to protect. Now, he did spend that stone there, or did he just trade it in the market someplace? He did actually spend it. He's going to go for a second town centre. Oh, he deleted it. He cancelled it. He's going to build it out there, but take a look. The positioning for Wham is so strong. He's going to go for the initial... I mean, it's so difficult, right? Because the arrow slits... There's only 7 arrows that can come out of the town centre. 7 garrisonable spots, and the town centre has been nerfed pretty badly. And so all these villages wouldn't be garrisonable if they needed to. Speaking of needing to, these longbowmen are heading in that position. Going to snipe out the scouts. A vision is going to be a problem for Zerton. Might need to retrain another scout. You might need to train some more villagers because it's going to be under pressure. Might lose a couple. Oh, the town centre's not up yet. I thought it would be up by then, but it did go up just in time. And, well, Wham decides to not take any risks and not die of anything just yet. Does have iron undermesh. So wouldn't have been the worst possible thing. But of course, he doesn't want to lose army because, you know, the French, they were a Jeanne d'Arc faction. They do have a decent army themselves, led by Jeanne herself. So got to be careful. The scout might get the charge attack from the scout of the 2 knights rather than and lose his life. We'll follow that. We'll follow that news. Alright, looks like Wham's going to be pushing on the front lines a little bit. A couple of spears and longbows. It's a dangerous army. We know it all too well from the English, right? Nothing's really changed on that front. He's going to get an outpost to extend that network of castles bonus. And he's going to go to the castle age with the King's Palace. Going to be placed on the 2 gold veins and that wood. It's a nice spot, I got to say. And it's going to be protecting that gold vein, which is very important. It is at the back of his base as well, which really helps. That's going to be giving him essentially a second town centre. Gives a problem for the Jeanne d'Arc faction. In some ways, because the second town centre is going to be matched. But more importantly, the castle age will be in there for Wham. That gives him access to getting those relics. Those all important mid-map objectives, maybe even sacred sites. I'm sure he'll focus on the relics first, of course. Good thing that works out for Zerton. He does have a lot of deer food coming in and shouldn't be too terribly far away from the castle age himself, but there is going to be a bit of a lag time compared to him and his opponent. It's very typical for the French and the Jeanne d'Arc faction for that to happen, primarily because of the cost of their French royal knights, right? It continues to produce them. Despite having the consecrate ability on the buildings, it's still expensive. Going to go for a blacksmith as well, which I like. He's going to need that for the free bloomery. But he's going to need it for iron undermesh as well. And maybe even fitted leatherwork for the melee upgrade armor. Because he's going to be under a bit of pressure soon. I think Wham is quite comfortable now that he's in the castle age. He's going to get the upgrades to the veteran, longbowman, veteran, spearman. And then he might look to push on from there and do some damage. I mean, it makes sense. Because he'll be fighting up against a feudal age army with a castle age army. Chivalry coming in pretty soon for those knights. Just to boost him up to full health once again in the north. Wolf just being annoying. It comes to the point where, actually, this is crossable, so there's going to be 4 shorefish there. That's actually kind of nice there for Wham. Has taken 2 out of 4 so far. Wait, what was she doing there? That was awkward. Must be an awkward rally point. Bit of army there on the east side. But again, you know, going up against the English is very difficult. You can't really dive the town centres. It's super tough, right? Because they get double arrow slits in this thing. You see 9 times 2. I shouldn't say arrow slits. It's yeah, what are they called again? Yeah, I think they're called arrow slits. Can't remember now. In any case, it's double the damage coming out for the English town centre. Not to mention the network of castles bonus, right? So an extra good amount of damage coming out there. 20% increased attack speed to be exact. Royal Knights just always threatening, but now that the game has been given away, Wham can just look to defend with a couple of spears. Well, this could be a big engagement. Longbows, they're not moved. They are now. They're focusing. Spearmen have to back away there for the English. Gets good damage on the Knights. Going to be focused on Jeanne d'Arc first. Does get a couple of XP. Oh, this is not great, though. I mean, to be fair, it's veteran versus castle age units, so it should be fine. Spearmen going to dive in and try and get a couple of stabby pokey-pokies on these archers. Archers do back away. And Jeanne d'Arc uses her divine restoration ability. English back away for now in the south. Spearmen pushing away a couple of French Royal Knights. And these French Royal Knights just need to stay alive, right? He's got chivalry, so there's no real need to dive in. At least not with the weak knights. Just amalgamating in the middle. Now Wham will be keeping that village count steady. compared to his opponent. The opponent is about 3 villages ahead, but yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all. Does have a couple of more eco upgrades as well. Does Zerton? No. Zerton's going to go to the castle edge. This is an interesting time there because Wham might take that as a signal to attack, right? Wham might think, well, okay, Zerton, you just teched up to the next stage. You've just spent a lot of resources. You probably don't have that many units because of it. Let's take an advantage, less pressure whilst you are still in the Feudal Age technically in terms of upgrades. And I'll push you with my Castle Age army. Could be a thing. We'll have to see how Wham decides to play this. Is picking up relics behind this. A bit slow to go for those relics, but he's obviously being preoccupied with other things. Roland Stew is a nice landmark for Jeanne d'Arc. Going to be getting some good upgrades for the cavalry. And there's that new age. Wham decides against actually being aggressive, and I don't necessarily blame him because the late game is pretty strong for the English, especially with the enclosures upgrade from the mill. It's not as strong as it once used to be, but it is still pretty good, especially because of the fact that you kind of... I mean, the main thing about it really is the population efficiency, right? So you're getting both food and gold from farms, and it means you don't... Yeah, it's just population, right? Especially in the late game, it's important to get as many military units as you possibly can, and that kind of helps in that regard. Second town site, it could come under pressure. No emplacements in this outpost. Just going to be given vision. And I just wonder, how long is it going to be before we see a ram? Survival techniques coming in for Zerton. Better late than never, getting Steeled Arrow as well. He does have Siege Enduring, guys, Wham. So it could be a thing. Struggling on the wood count, though, to be fair. Needs a bit more. Then he might be able to push in from there. Oh, nice. Just circling around. Now, these are veteran Royal Knights, so they're a lot better at diving into town centres, and they'd be quite happy to do so. There's only one Lonely Spearman looking to chase after. 2 relics are in the bag for Wham, but a lot of idle time being caused on the farms, and he dives in, ducks out, weaves in, weaves out, and he backs away for now. Spearman chase, only 3 of them. Townstead are still, yeah, firing away, but it just causes a lot of idle time, which is okay here for Wham in the end. It's not the be all and end all. Hasn't lost all that many villagers, so it should be fine. Question is behind this: does Wham go for an Imperial Age with the Berkshire Palace? Quite possibly. The farms, the transition is well underway. Quite a few of them, and they're nicely placed, making me proud there, Wham. Not even bothering with berries these days. Bit of an awkward situation here, but mostly not his fault. Just the wood lines in the way. That's a nice farming transition coming out. It's nicely walled up as well, and Imperial Age will be strong because they've given him access to enclosures, and we talked about how that bit of a power spike that is. 2 resources coming at the same time. Waterloo coming off. I mean, that's not going to work, I'm afraid, but it does push Jeanne d'Arc back a little bit, and the horseman going to dive that, and I'm afraid there for Wham. Gave away the XP as well as the relic situation. He's getting Royal Bloodline, so you kind of get the feeling that Zerton might look to push very soon. He's certainly feeling aggressive. Spearman going to be pushing away those French Royal Knights. Approaching the 19th minute of the game, and yeah, it's going to be an Imperial Age, the Berkshire Palace. Jeanne d'Arc, we're going to see first time Jeanne d'Arc facing up against the Berkshire Palace, and I'm interested to see where it goes, right? It could go in the middle of the map, but could very well just go defensively as well. I would love to see it on a sacred site, though, because that can be a nice kind of bit of gold coming in if it's safe and secure. It's going to go for the Berkshire Palace on the forward gold. That's actually a smart play because there isn't that much gold on this map. Like, all things considered, the back gold is going to be running out soon. Well, not really, but yeah. Well, it will go away soon. Like, at the rate he's mining it. It's starting to be a bit aggressive though, Zerton. No real Imperial Age on the cards for him. And once he sees the Berkshire Palace going up, or when he does get to the next stage, could be a signal to attack. So we'll just see a number of relics on the field to be picked up. Only 2 picked up so far by the English. He backs off here, Zerton. Not feeling it yet. And the French Royal Knight, or Jeanne d'Arc's Royal Knight, I should say, I guess, is a very strong late game unit. Very population efficiency is in play with that. Does lose a skull up. I mean, that was kind of close there for that monk, actually, I have to say. Spearmen heading that way, and the Berkshire Palace is going to be up and running, protecting that forward gold. The question is, where would Zerton go for gold? I mean, it's a bit tricky, right? You might have to come down the south. Oh, Spearmen engaging the Northern Knights. A couple of them do go down. 3 of them for free. That is bad there for Zerton. Not a great engagement at all. And I mean, if he kept them alive with chivalry to heal them up, that would have been ideal, but he lost them in the end, and that's very expensive. 3 Royal Knights. Going to get Gambesons as well for Arbaletier. Increasing the melee armor by +5. Makes them very, very good. Difficult to counter, even with horsemen. Because, of course, of that extra armor. Mangonel deploys. Wham! You've got to be careful. Takes a hit, but not too bad in the end. Could have been a lot worse. Speaking of a lot worse, well, yeah, there's no transition there. Sometimes you try and wing the transitions in casting, but there just wasn't one. Not that I could think of. Knight does back away. Mangonel always threatening. Now we might need to see a siege engine from Wham. There it is. There's the Springward coming in. It's going to need to double shot. One Mangonel shot does get off on a couple of longbows, but the Mangonel does go down. The horseman going to be diving in. Not that many spearmen out to defend with, but network of castles bonus does come in play. Therefore, Wham going to be sniping down as many of the knights as possible. Jeanne d'Arc uses the Divine Restoration. Spearmen getting played now, but they were a bit further away. They didn't join the fight when they needed to be, but they are there now when it matters, because now the horsemen have to back away. Zerton doesn't want to take the chance now. It doesn't feel it. Doesn't feel like he can win this fight, so now it backs away. Right move, because that's a lot of spearmen coming in that way, and they're going to chase this down. Wham's not happy. He said, trying to be aggressive? Well, I'll show you how it works. And they're going to push this away with the longbow and firing on the back line, and villagers do have to back away from the berries. Trying to get the pocket economies in the front of the middle of the map. Fortunately, it's not going to work today, Wham. Or against Wham, I should say. Zerton going to back away with Jeanne d'Arc. She does start to fire herself. Uses the Q ability there, as you can see, Divine Arrow. Dishing out 100 damage. Going to be getting good XP as well, and does manage to get away with it. Going to be burning a few things down with this Royal Nightmare, perhaps, and going around the back just to see if we can pick up some villagers. It's going to be the Red Palace for the Jeanne d'Arc faction. Question is, where would it be placed? Looks like it's going to be placed in the north, protecting a gold, stone, and sacred site. It's a really nice spot there. Alright, well the question is, now that Wham has been in the Imperial Age for quite some time, is now getting barracks, and that could be of, a significant importance, right? It could be getting spearmen, massing them up as much as you can and push forward. It's always a possibility. Maybe even think about man-at-arms. The trouble about man-at-arms, of course, the French Royal Knights kind of counter them. It's going to be a difficult thing to justify, but we will see. There was a few archers down the field. It's a hard farming transition, I've got to say there for Zerton. In a forward position, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's not particularly safe and protected. Would have loved to have seen the real estate here being used, because that's probably going to be the primary focus for Wham to be aggressive on, right? The second town centre. Might be difficult to get rid of that Red Palace, though, I've got to say. Can look at deactivate the sacred site in the south. Has got 3 relics to his name here, Wham. Trying to pick up this gold vein here in the north. Zerton will protect it with an outpost. It's getting a TC in the south. I like that play, actually. Like, he doesn't necessarily need to make villages. It's just more of a static defense. And with the Red Palace, it's a really strong thing to do. It's a landmark, which actually activates an arbalest emplacement on all keeps and town centres. And each additional unit garrisoned inside adds additional arbalest. And makes the town centres when they're garrisoned in super strong. Speaking about super strong, that Royal Knight is super strong, but quite possible could be going down to the town centre. We'll be taking a village on the way, though. The spearmen do engage, and Royal Knight does go down. But here's the engagement coming on the front. Spearmen are going to be chasing things down and burning things down in a blink of an eye. This is kind of crazy. Like, I mean, this is the thing. The second town centre has been nerfed so badly that even with spearmen, doesn't even need siege at this point. But the Royal Knight's going to break through. Going to be taking out a lot of villages on the farms. I mean, he's done well to protect a lot of them. Hand cannon is going to be coming out. Going to be losing a springward there to the horsemen quite cheaply, but it's going to be able to focus forward, right? A lot of these knights are going to kill villages, but it's not the end of the world. He's got 2 town centres effectively, the Wham, to rebuild, and if anything, now that he's edging towards that population capacity out of 200, losing villagers can even do him a bit of a favour. With the bank of resources that he has, Wham, actually losing villagers is doing him a favour. It's going to unlock potential population space for the army to pop out, Got plenty of resources, so it should be fine. I mean, there's no way he torches down the Red Palace. I'm that's optimistic. But he's going to back away. He didn't know about it at first, but he does know about it now. Cheeky Royal Knight. Still veteran status, by the way. Hasn't been able to afford the elite upgrade. And he's been pressurized. He's really struggling on food here. Zerton had a hard farming transition. Maybe didn't come quick enough. Does have a bombard as well, and that bombard's going to do great work. Like in a strong push like this, you definitely need siege, and he's got one bombard at least. There is a mangonel. The mangonel might be sniped by the bombard. That's exactly what one will want to do if he can get close enough. Takes out a house instead for now. But you can see the economy is pretty safe and secure for Wham. No palisades really here for Zerton on the east side. And the villagers do garrison inside, 5 of them. And the spearmen might just try and torch us down. They've got longbow in the back, and there is a bombard. The bombard needs to get rid of the mangonel. The mangonel deploys against the spearmen. Spearmen take some heavy hits. Some really heavy hits. Oof, this is kind of a bit tricky because there's quite a few mangonels. Mangonels deploy on the spearmen. Divine Restoration comes out for Jeanne d'Arc. Oh, the bombard's going to go for the town center. The arbalest emplacement, though, in the town center is going to be ripping through the units. I'm not sure Wham can do this. It's kind of diving in a bit heavily. I'm just going to dive in with some spearmen. Maybe throw away units, maybe. But it's going to be shot down to pieces by the mangonels. Longbowmen coming in. Hand cannoneers being added in behind this. The economy is looking pretty decent, of course, though, for Wham. So he's going to be replacing everything that he loses. Siege has been taken care of, and the arbalest emplacement at the town center, dishing out all sorts of damage, isn't able to get close enough to the mangonels to focus fire on it, and to be honest, it's probably a bit crazy to do that. It's going to back away for now. Maybe rebuild, maybe reset, maybe regroup, maybe a couple of rams might be helpful. We shall see what Wham can do, because he does have a lot of wood. Does have one bombard in play on the field. Does have a population space of 188 taken so far. Oh, Wham's, he's suffering for gold, right? He wants to go south, but he doesn't spot that. He doesn't know that's there yet. We will find out eventually. Going to be heading north just to see if that gold is... I mean, it's not reachable by the palace, right? I think that the French, or Jeanne d'Arc, I should say, has done a really good job of securing their resources as best as they can. And taking care of this gold as well. It's something that the French do quite often, and now Jeanne d'Arc's doing it as well. Doesn't even have the guild hall. It's just been mining the stone the whole time. The bombard's going to start making their work. I think he needs to reset here, Wham, and just start to focus in the middle, group his army together with one big death ball push potentially, as the English do well. He's actually split up his army. Wait, Spearman, where are you going? I think he feels like he's comfortable throwing them away. Doesn't actually have that much of a bank of resources anymore, though. It's a bit risky, though. He should take the keep out eventually. Well, villagers being pushed away. That's a good pick off there. 21 villagers killed by Zerton so far. 16 for Wham. And Jeanne d'Arc is leveling up. She can actually call in some riders to her side if she wishes. Bombard might be sniped by 2 horsemen. Although, actually, to be fair, no, should be staying alive. I'd love to see a villager come out to repair that. Horseman diving in and dying very quickly. The south. Interesting keep there by Wham. I mean, he's probably going to be protecting the wood, right? There's actually a lot of wood here in the south. He's a bit worried about it becoming a wood game. Getting that keep. Does have a couple of longbowmen there. Going to be sniping villagers underneath the town centre. Oh, that's actually bad here. We talked about how this was a good spot to get some farming. I take it back. There's a lot of longbowmen here. There's going to be a lot of villagers massacred. Zerton isn't reacting. He hasn't spotted it. Hasn't got the attack notification yet, to be fair. And it's going to be heading out villagers back onto the wood line. That is a mistake. It's being torched down. That town centre might go down pretty quickly. At least the farms have. Oh, that's a massacre. Villagers going down on the farming. I mean, to be fair, though, Zerton has a decent bank of resources. So in some ways, again, I mean, Wham could be doing him a favour this time. But he's losing these forward positions, right? And there's gold to be had. The town centre should survive for now, though. In the south. He does clear this up. But this allows Wham to boom up again a bit. Reset and regroup. Two mangonels, 3 springalds could turn into a bit of a siege fight, which, to be fair, Wham is kind of prepared for. We're charging in with spearmen. Does have 2 bombards. We'll do well. Oh, mangonels. Oh, on the spearmen. I mean, actually, to be fair, didn't do all that much damage as I kind of expected. They are elite units, I guess, at this point. But this could be bad, though. That second shot definitely did well. There's a third bombard coming out for Wham. Needs to focus on the springals there that are waiting. I was going to get the maggot. That was an absolutely huge snipe by the spearman. He rushed in, Wham, and got 2 siege engines pretty much with a one shot, and that was absolutely epic. Arbaletier, though, with Gambesons, they will do work, and fighting it in the little choke point. Divine Restoration comes out for Jeanne d'Arc. I mean, this is a trouble situation, right? Because Wham is just spamming units, and he's got a lot of economy to do it. 3 bombards heading across the field as well. Hand cannoneers there for Wham. Should be able to dish out a bit of damage. Arbaletier numbers are starting to dwindle. This is looking difficult. Wham is coming up with 79 units. He's spending his resources. He's pumping units, and now this could be a really troublesome situation. Look at the units streaming across the map. Going to be heading right into the heart of the base of Jeanne d'Arc, and he's got the siege follow-up, right? The bombards going to be taking out critical production buildings. Next is going to be the School of Cavalry. I don't think there's any way here for Zerton to stop this push. This is a strong push coming out from the English. The timing attack was perfect, and now with the landmarks going down, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Zerton taps out, and well, Wham with the display with the English. Clearly still a very dominant civilization in many ways, and hope you guys enjoyed this casted game on Himeyama. If you're watching on YouTube, do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Take care, and see you next time.